Welcome back to this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report. I'm Karen Savitz, and we're now joined by head men's and women's golf coach David Synan. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, since the last time we had you on the show, both of your teams have seen plenty of action on the links. But let's start with your men's team. The Braves finished tied for 7th at the Georgia College-hosted Bobcat Intercollegiate and went on to turn in an 8th place finish at the Lander-hosted Bearcat Classic this past weekend. Why don't you give us a progress report on your men's team right now, as they seem to be improving as we get closer to the Peach Belt Conference Championship?
Yes, well, we've had a very successful month of March. Like you just said, we've been very solid, very consistent. We've been in the top half of each field these last couple of weeks. They've been extremely talented, deep fields with many, many top 25 programs. And we're doing pretty good. We're the 11th team ranked in the region, 10 make it, so we have an outside chance at fighting and earning a regional spot.
Well, one of your men's golfers, freshman J.C. McFadden, has tallied top 10 finishes in each of the last 2 events, while Pembroke native Ian Locklear has proven to be a very consistent player for you over the last handful of tournaments as well. Talk about these 2 players and what they have meant to the success of your team over the last month or so.
J.C. and Ian have been absolutely awesome. J.C. literally has gone from our 5-man 3 weeks ago, now he's our 2-man right behind Ian, which is unbelievable. JC's just come out of nowhere. I knew he had the talent, but sometimes as a freshman you don't see it till later in the season, you could say. And Ian continues to be a very solid, consistent performer. Ian's currently our #1 player. Very, very reliable. He's a grinder, works hard, and he's a very good senior leader, we could say.
The Braves will host the UNCP Sunoco Campbell Oil Classic next week at the River Landing Golf Club in Wallace, North Carolina. The inaugural edition of this event was held last year, so what's on tap for the tournament this year, and what things have you identified that will improve the experience, not just for your team, but for the other 17 teams scheduled to be at the tournament as well?
Well, it's actually our 15th year. We've had 15 years of success, 14 years I'll say. But we have 17 teams coming, plus us will make 18. We host a fantastic event for 3 days. It's at River Landing, which is an unbelievable facility. Current weather forecasts look fantastic. But we treat the teams right. They stay in a good hotel. They eat fantastic food for 3 days. And it's probably the most well-run, best organized tournament in D2 golf.
Including next week's home tournament, the men's team will have 9 tournaments under their belt before they head to the Callaway Gardens in Pine Mountain, Georgia for the PBC Championships. Who are some of the teams you expect to be in contention for the title, and where do you see your team stacking up in the rest of the 12-team field?
It's difficult to say. A very deep, awesome conference for golf. Ranking-wise, we're about in the middle. Strike average-wise, we're about in the middle of the field. Strongest teams probably Armstrong Atlantic and USC Aiken, followed closely by Columbus State and Georgia College. But we beat Flagler earlier this week. We tied Columbus State and tied Georgia College on their home golf course last week. So we are capable of getting possibly a top 3 finish if we really play strong.
All right, well, that's great, and we're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to talk women's golf with head coach David Synan, so stay tuned.
At the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, our student athletes find balance between their academic and athletic activities. With graduation rates higher than the national average, our athletes excel in academics and have won the Peach Belt Conference President's Academic Award twice in the last 4 years. Since 2009, 43 athletes have been named NCAA All-Americans, and last year, 40 made All-Conference. Catch their winning spirit and support the Braves.